بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. The Quran is revealed for people, and so it tells us about people. In fact, it tells people about themselves. All the various types of human beings that reside in this world are somehow mentioned in the Quran. Our responsibility is to find ourselves there. The Quran will speak about us and speak about other people in terms of what types of beliefs they have, what types of mindset and thinking they have, what types of deeds, what types of akhlaq, what types of attitudes. In this way, the Quran summarizes all of these things that exist in the world, that always have and will continue to exist until Yawm al-Qiyamah. The Quran also gives us examples. One of the ways that the Quran explains these things to us is through examples. Like the examples of the munafiqeen that are given in the early verses of Surah Baqara. مثلهم كمثل الذي استوقد نارا فلما أضاءت ما حوله ذهب الله بنورهم وتركهم في ظلمات لا يبصرون صم بكم عمي فهم لا يرجعون أو كصيب من السماء فيه ظلمات ورعد وبرق يجعلون أصابعهم في آذانهم من الصواعق حذر الموت والله محيط بالكافرين. So the example of someone who lights a fire, and just when things start getting illuminated, before there was darkness, someone came and lit a lantern, and in the light of that lantern, the dark caverns and caves, or the forest, or wherever they were sitting, all of a sudden it became illuminated. They were able to see where they were and how to navigate. Just when that happened, someone took away all the light. This is the example of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam lighting the lantern of Iman and Hidayah for people. And it started becoming obvious. In the days of Makkah, there were trials and tribulations. But those who persevered were allowed to carry on this journey and move towards Medina. There, the journey continued even though the situations and circumstances changed. Now, deen is spreading. Now, all of a sudden, it becomes advantageous to be a Muslim. It makes sense. It makes more sense. It's more feasible to be a Muslim. So light is spreading. But there are some people who have the disease of doubt. They have the disease of doubt and suspicion, or they're trying to play both sides. They're trying to stand on both sides of the fence at the same time. And that's not possible. So what happens, even though the light is there, for these people Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has turned it off. تَرَكَهُمْ فِي ظُلُمَاتٍ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ. These people, Allah has ذَهَبَ اللَّهُ بِنُورِهِمْ. Allah took their light away, even though the light is there. But because they chose to act blind, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removed it and left them in this darkness where they cannot see. Rather, not only can they not see, but now they have become deaf, and they have also become mute. They're not able to listen to the truth, they're not able to utter the truth, and they're definitely not able to see it. So this is one example of people. This is what happens when someone tries to act very, very clever and say, I'm going to play both sides of the field, I am going to stand on both sides of the fence, and I am going to match everything up perfectly. And I'm going to ensure that all my interests are met from all sides. The other example Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives is this dark, stormy night. أو كصيب من السماء فيه ظلمات ورعد وبرق. So imagine a rainstorm with heavy winds. It's pitch black. And not only is there a heavy downpour of rain from the sky, but there's also thunder, loud crashing thunder, and periodically flashes of lightning. Now these people are scared. They're scared, so what they do is they plug their ears. They plug their ears because they think one of these bolts of lightning and one of these roars of thunder is going to take our life. يجعلون أصابعهم في آذانهم من الصواعق حذر الموت والله محيط بالكافرين يكاد البرق يخطف أبصارهم. These people, they're scared. To them, the da'wah of Iman it's a storm that is coming their way. It is something extremely intimidating and frightening for them because it's changing the status quo. It's threatening to change their circumstances. It's threatening to pull them out of their comfort zones. And that's something unacceptable. They need to stay in their comfort zones. So the da'wah that's being given, the Quranic verses that are being recited, it's like thunder and lightning and heavy rain, and it's dark and it's a big storm, and they somehow want to block this out. They think that if I plug my ears and close my eyes, this storm is going to go away. And the flashes of lightning are so bright to them that it's going to blind them. But at the same time, whenever there is a flash of lightning, they find that they're able to move. But then it's dark again, and so they stop. On one side they're waiting for the flash of lightning so they can see where they need to go and move. But on the other side they're saying it's too bright. Can you try to visualize the picture of confusion that the Quran is painting here? What a vivid picture of a person who is scared of what lies on the other side. On one side they're understanding that there is light, but on the other side it's very, very frightening for them. Whatever the light appears, they're also able to move, but they're at the same time scared that it might take their eyesight away. This is a person who is afraid of the enlightenment that comes through Hidayah. And this is a person who is paranoid when they see the work of Hidayah happening around in their surroundings. And this is the person who is not sure what awaits for them. So, the confused person, the person who is overwhelmed by everything that's going on, the person who just wants to be left alone. But when they are left alone, they have so many doubts, confusions, misgivings, suspicions, that deep inside they're miserable. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, as we go through the Quran, we will continue to hear the verses where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is explaining to us the different kinds of mindsets. And one of the things that is important to discuss while we're talking about Iman and the opposite, disbelief, and that which is in between, which is nifaq, while we're talking about these things, it's very important for us to know that every one of these comes with a certain mindset. Often we look at things in terms of belief and disbelief, but we don't pay attention to the mindset and the attitude that forms a part of that. Faith is not a standalone thing, that you just have faith and you can have any kind of attitude, any kind of mindset, any kind of approach and perception. No. Faith, Iman, will come with a certain type of mindset and attitude and thinking process. And disbelief will come with its own. And that which lies in between will come with its own. Sometimes a person has faith, but they're borrowing or they're using mindsets from the other groups. And the hadith explains this. Like for example, the Hadith of Bokhari, in which is mentioned that there are 4 qualities that a person who has them is a pure hypocrite. But somebody who has one of them has a quality of hypocrisy until he lets it go. So a person could be a believer, but they're borrowing, or they're using, or they have inside them attitudes, mindsets, approaches, perceptions from a place that they should not be taking. Why does that happen? Sometimes it happens because of the way they were raised. It happens because of the environment. It happens because of the types of people that they keep themselves in the company of. Or it happens because they don't keep themselves in the company of the right people. All of these then form this mindset. So it's very possible that a person has very strong iman in Allah, but the way they see the world is incorrect. They have great iman in akhirah, but the way they look at people is incorrect. They have great iman in all of the arkan of iman, but the way they're looking at and perceiving and approaching life's situations is all wrong. And the Quran deconstructs all of that. It opens it up. So when we say guidance, when we say hidayah, we're not just talking about not believing in Allah and then shifting to believing in Allah. That's not all of hidayah. That's one fundamental and crucial step of hidayah. That's not all of it. So let's allow the Quran to guide our hearts, but also to guide our minds. Let's allow it to guide our beliefs, but also our thoughts. Let's allow the Quran to not just change and improve our worships, but also behaviors. And let's allow the Quran to not just improve our statements to dhikr and talks of iman, but also conversations that are pleasing to Allah, so that the words that we say are actually pleasing to Allah. The conversations we have with one another are in line with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has. And there's one more conversation that the Quran also talks about. That's the conversation inside our minds, inside our heads, that nobody can hear except for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's that self-talk. It's that discussion that's happening before we say anything or do anything. The Quran is addressing us at that level, if we allow it to. So we open up our hearts, and we open up our minds, and we leave ourselves. Look, if Islam is submission, then it means we need to submit wholly and entirely to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. We just have to allow that submission to take place. It's not forcing ourselves to submit. It's rather allowing ourselves to submit by removing the obstacles and barriers that we ourselves have in our systems. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this month a month of enlightenment and guidance and improvement at every level for us and for the whole ummah. Because we need to change in all of these aspects. We definitely need to change in our worships. Alhamdulillah, Ramadan facilitates that. But it's not just worships that the ummah needs to change in. There are many, many things that we need improvement in. And the Quran is here to facilitate that, to assist us in that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it a means of hidayah for all of us. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad.